your hot dogs? Yes, sir.
The winning Hot Lotto ticket was purchased in Des Moines by
That man buying 2 hot dogs and 2 lottery tickets is about to win $16.5 million. And nobody was ever supposed to see this tape because he isn't a lucky customer. He's the one man in America whose job is to make winning impossible. He runs the lottery's security. This is dead money. For 6 years, he rigged jackpot after jackpot, 6 of them across 5 states, and no machine, no audit, no camera ever caught him. What finally destroyed him is in your hand right now, every time you stop for gas. Stay to the end because the hot dogs come back, and they end everything. His name is Eddie Tipton, a quiet computer programmer from Texas. In 2003, he joined the Multi-State Lottery Association in Des Moines, Iowa, the organization that runs the draws for lotteries across America. By the time of that tape, he was their information security director. Read that title again. The man hired to make the lottery unhackable held the keys to the room where the numbers are born. And it is a real room. Locked, glass walls, 2 employees to open the door, cameras watching every second. Everyone trusted Eddie. He built half the security himself, which is exactly why nobody looked at him. Not once. For a decade. So how do you rig a machine that's built to be random? A lottery computer takes a seed, a starting value, and runs it through a random number generator. Numbers go in. Unpredictable numbers come out. Nobody on Earth is supposed to know the result in advance. Eddie broke that promise, quietly. Picture a pair of dice that rolls honestly 362 days a year. But on 3 specific days, if the draw lands on a Wednesday or Saturday after 8 p.m., the dice roll exactly what their maker wants. November 20th, 2010. Eddie walks into the draw room, and on that day, only that day, the security cameras are recording just 1 second per minute. In the gaps between frames, prosecutors say, a thumb drive goes in. A tiny program installs itself inside the lottery's own software. Then it deletes itself. No trace. When Wisconsin investigators finally reconstructed it years later, the poison came down to just 21 lines of code. 21 lines, sitting inside the file that generates America's jackpots. And Eddie already knew every number it would ever produce. Now he just needed other people's hands to collect the money. November 2005, Colorado. A $568,000 jackpot share, claimed through Eddie's brother Tommy, a Texas justice of the peace who spent his weekends hunting Bigfoot. That is not a joke. It's in the court record. December 2007, Wisconsin. $783,000, routed through a company run by Eddie's old friend, Robert Rhodes. The money flowed quietly back to Eddie. Small wins, different states, other people's faces. For 5 years, flawless. Then Eddie got greedy. December 29th, 2010, 6 days after the hot dogs, the rigged draw hits, $16.5 million, the biggest ticket he ever touched. And it's the one prize he cannot collect. A jackpot that size comes with cameras, press conferences, a name. So the winning ticket just sits in a drawer, silent, for 11 months. Then with weeks left before it expires, the phone rings. A man calling from Canada. The winner exists, he says, but he's too sick to appear. Then the story changes. The prize belongs to a trust, Hexam Investments, registered in Belize. With 1 hour before the deadline, a law firm walks the ticket in. Iowa's answer is simple. Tell us who actually won. Name a human being. They never do. And in February 2012, the Iowa lottery does something almost unheard of. It takes $14.3 million and gives it back. Nobody ever touched that money. The biggest rigged jackpot in American history simply died. But the tape survived. And in October 2014, investigators tried one last move. They showed it to the world. Eddie's own co-workers watched a hooded man ask for 2 hot dogs and recognized the voice instantly. That's Eddie. January 2015, the man who guarded the lottery is arrested for robbing it. At trial, his lawyers point out you never clearly see the buyer's face. The jury takes one look at everything else, guilty. And in 2017, cornered by evidence from 4 more states, Eddie Tipton stands in open court and finally says it himself.
Indeterminate term, not to exceed 25 years.
The judge asked Eddie Tipton if he had any.
He wrote the code. He picked the numbers. The people he trusted cashed the tickets. The sentence, 25 years. Asked if he had anything to add, he managed 3 words. He was ordered to repay nearly $3 million. By 2019, he had paid back $1,225. He walked out on parole in 2022. But here's the part that should keep you up at night. The code deleted itself. The cameras missed the install. We only know about the draws somebody tried to cash. How many rigged jackpots were simply never claimed? 3 rules from the man who was the security. Rule 1. Every unhackable system has exactly one person holding the keys. Watch that person. Rule 2. When a fortune sits unclaimed for months, it isn't lost. Someone's afraid to show their face. Rule 3. The perfect crime still has to walk into a gas station, eventually, and order 2 hot dogs. If stories like this are your thing, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell me in the comments, if your code could print a jackpot, would you have deleted it? The next story is worse. See you there.